Hey everybody, welcome again to the Boone Show on My Pulse Radio. Glad to be with you this week. We've got a full show.
Jam-packed.
Full show. There we go. Got to get a producer in here.
Or somebody that's competent that knows how to use it right.
Hey-o. All right,
Like
well,
the
you were
like the
struggling
phone
with
system.
the phones over there.
Exactly.
So, hey, well, you think after we do this for 5 years, we know how to actually do it.
I know.
But
we need to
welcome.
have the kids train us.
Welcome. No. Welcome to the show. I'm John Boone. Holly Harrell is the boss lady. She's over there. She's with us again. Hello.
Hello.
You got through graduation and all that.
Yes, it was 2 great days. Those are my favorite days.
How many do you do? Like 20 of them?
Yeah, and they're my favorite days because I love to see you guys interact with these kids, and it's heartfelt. Like, I just love the things that you say about them. It's just, it's like my why. You know how
we
they
know
say
we're
that?
not going to see them again.
We
so
just make it up.
Next to Holly is Chris Morey, Chef Chris. He is here to talk to our first guest on the phone. And our main guest today, our guest of honor, is the mayor of Williamston, a frequent guest on the program.
Flyer. We
but
punch
he
in his
needs
card.
to be because we are in Williamston, so it's good to know what's going on. So we usually have him on near the beginning of the year and near the end of the year. And so the penultimate show today, using big words, we have Rocky
Get your
Burgess
thesaurus out.
on with
John
us.
Boone is here.
So Rocky, welcome again to the show.
Always good to be here with you guys.
Got a bunch of things we want to talk to you about.
Absolutely.
But first, off the bat, we have a former student of Chef Maurice, and she is starting her own little business. And when I see this with former students and stuff, I say, hey, why don't we
cool,
talk to them a
right?
little bit?
Yeah.
But here's the main reason why we're talking to her, Holly.
Okay.
She's a chef, okay? And she specializes in baking things like,
Chef
snacks,
loves to
cookies,
bake.
all
I
that
do.
kind
I
of
like to
stuff.
make bread.
But
I don't like
we-
cakes. I don't like cakes.
But we love to eat.
Yes.
So right now I'm screening people to provide food for the show in the future.
It's all about
And
you,
she
Mr.
has already
Boone.
said that she'd love to be a regular on the show.
Oh.
Let's welcome Maddie Pittman. Hi, Maddie. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. How is everybody?
Everybody
hello.
is great. I brought in this special This Is Your Life guest for you.
Welcome
today.
back to ACTC
Aw,
Culinary.
Thank you.
Just for you. Have you seen Chef Maurice since you graduated way back when?
I have a couple of times. It's been a little while since the last time I visited.
She graduated in what, 2016?
2016,
It's almost
that's right.
10 years.
A
Wow.
lifetime ago.
Almost
Man.
10 years, yeah.
Does that make you feel old, Chef?
It doesn't take that.
Okay.
I know I'm old.
Now, tell us what you've been up to. You've had some pretty cool jobs between then and now. Bring us up to date.
Yes, so I have had the fortunate enough experience to go to New York, and I worked at a restaurant called First Day for a little while, and then COVID happened, and I ended up working at the Cliffs at Kiwi Springs, and I became one of the chef de cuisines there, and I stayed there for about 3 years, and then I became the executive chef over at another country club in Toccoa, Georgia, and I worked there for a couple of years and got to experience all of that loveliness that comes with running your own kitchen and being in charge of everything. And after I did that, I went in and consulted for a couple of different kitchens in Greenville, and then now I decided to start my own little thing because, well, I want to work for myself for a little while.
Now, before we get into exactly what you're doing, are you still working at another place while you're doing this? Or are you jumping, head over heels into the deep end doing this?
I am pretty head over heels in the deep end with this. I am private chefing for a couple in Colombia.
Oh,
I go up there and cook for them a couple times a week and meal prep for them and get everything set so they don't have to really go in their kitchen unless they want to heat up some food.
okay.
Very cool.
I kind of like that.
So,
Not to
so tell me,
talk off the air.
when did you graduate? In
16.
2016.
And then
Yes, ma'am.
did you go to school?
Yes, so I went to Greenville Tech. I got my culinary arts degree from there. I have a baking and pastry certificate, and I also got my marketing degree, and I have a marketing communication certificate.
Oh, thus the culmination
Well-rounded.
of all of this into your own business. Love it.
All right.
Yeah.
Chris, you got any questions about what she's doing?
When are you going to come back and maybe demo for my students? I
expecting-
could put my feet up and you could take over.
Or you could come into my class. You spend
No.
a lot of time in my class.
No, she was my
Liz.
student, Mr. Boone. Oh, that's right. She was down here.
And she is doing some media side of it now. I'm
I
proud of
know.
her. So
No, I think it's really cool. I saw the website. Mr. Boone sent me the link to your website. I think it looks great. I think working
Thank
for
you.
yourself is a big undertaking, but it's, I think, so much more rewarding because you're going to get out of it all the effort and hard work that you put into it. You're going to just see that, firsthand, and it's going to be so much more fun because it's your baby, it's your thing from the start, and it's not that you're working that hard for somebody else. I think it's a really cool venture that you're stepping out into.
I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to it. I've actually got a couple of bookings already. I've got a graduation party I'm doing next weekend for about 40 people. So that's one of the things is I'm doing baking, and that's kind of what I'm pushing right now. But I'm also, with all the experience I have, I'm also open to doing caterings and doing the big charcuterie boards and stations and all kinds of fun stuff like that, and just kind of bouncing around.
that's cool. The website is chefmaddiepittman.com for everybody
Yes,
to
it
check
is.
out. And on Instagram, you can see her at Fresh by Chef Maddie. The whole thing is called Fresh by Chef Maddie. So how did you decide, to do this? I know it's one thing to decide to do something on your own, but describe, well, first off, what it is exactly that you're pushing here and how you decided to do exactly that.
So I am pushing mainly the baked items that I'm doing, and that's focaccias and different kinds of cookies and loaf breads and bagels, and then I'll do seasonal cakes because I do love to decorate cakes and do pastries and things of that general nature. And I'm open to custom orders for people also. The main reason I started to do it was I've had the pleasure of working for many different people and many different general managers and owners, and getting to experience all of it and thinking about what I would do differently and how I would change that. And I was like, well, I think I've got all the skills down pat. I've learned enough throughout the years, and I was like, I think I can do this. And so that's what made me go for it.
That's really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. Are
Very
you going to have a retail shop, or are you doing this just kind of on the catering side right now?
For right now, it's more on the catering side, and
Okay.
then seeing how it picks up. The plan is to eventually have a retail shop because eventually I will need to get a bigger oven for my kitchen if I plan to do it out of the house, which is what I'm doing right now, is doing more of along the lines of like cottage baking, and then for caterings I'm using commissary kitchens. So
Very
the plan is
cool.
to eventually have a retail space, but we're baby steps.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I think that's awesome. I wish you the best of luck. I think it's really neat to see students that came through the program and got their feet wet here and decided that the industry was something that they wanted to stick with, and you just really applied yourself and soaked up everything you could over the last 8, 9, 10 years, and you're really doing well. I'm so proud of you.
Well, thank you. That means a lot to me. I really do appreciate that.
And it is cool. I mean, you're living out the dream of what you wanted to do, and not too many kids, really get to do that. They'll switch 5 times after they get out of school
Yep.
and wind up in who knows what career. But you're fortunate enough to, almost 10 years again. You've been going with this and starting out something new. So it's really awesome, and we wish you all the best, and we want you to be a regular part of the program. We want to taste some of your stuff. So you're going to have to come down from the mountain. Where do you live? Up in
Yes.
Pickens Way?
I am. I'm over in Pickens.
Okay. It's not too far away. We can.
No, not too bad. And I mean, I've got all the baking, and I have chickens now too. So I've got my 7 chickens. I'll be able to offer like fresh local eggs.
Look at
in a
that.
couple
Very
of months
cool.
once I start laying.
Do you have a garden and everything too? Growing stuff
I do.
out there?
I've got
Yeah.
tons. I've got cucumbers and tomatoes and a bunch of pepper plants and all my herbs, and
Very
they're
good.
all starting to be happy. They're loving all this rain.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The chef is nodding his head. He's taught you well.
Well, I just pointed her in the direction. It was all her hard
A
work.
wonderful instructor.
Oh, there you go,
There
Chris.
you
That's
go.
the reason why you came.
Who did you take 2 10th grade classes here, or did you just take culinary?
I think I took culinary, and I did a semester of the radio broadcasting also.
Oh, so you took Mr. Boone.
Yes, I did.
Okay. I was just wondering
And
which
she
one
kept visiting
inspired
quite
you
a bit.
more, and it sounds like chef inspires you a little more.
Stop it. But I
Look,
had
he
her
gives
do
me
some
a hard
voice work
time
and
all the
stuff, too.
time,
She
so.
was, yeah. But anyway, look what she's doing. A
It's so
combination of culinary and
I love it.
media.
I love it. Yes, you
So,
definitely
yeah,
need to
you
come
gotta
back.
start a podcast and all that stuff. You're going to
Yep.
do all that?
I've been thinking about it. My sisters are both encouraging me to start a podcast. They're
Yeah.
like, people want to know what you're doing. And I was like, I'm cooking and I'm baking. That's what I'm doing.
And people like to
Just
see
measure a bunch of
that.
flour.
They
Yes,
like to
they
see
do.
that. You know, there's so many
Telling me.
chefs on TikTok right now
There you
doing their
go.
thing. I mean, this is a great opening for somebody that's local to do that.
Yeah, all you have to do is set up a camera
That's
while
right.
you're doing what you're doing.
That's right.
So we'll help you with that.
Very
Just let us
cool.
know. But thanks for checking in with us. It's great to hear from you. Whenever we hear of students doing great things, we like to have them on. So
Yep.
thanks for taking some time to do that. Best of luck. And again, it's chefmaddiepittman.com or on Instagram, Fresh by Chef Maddie. Thanks again for joining us, all right?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, see you later, Maddie. And yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is cool.
Very cool.
Very cool. And
It's neat
Chris,
to see,
congratulations that
You know,
you had
the
an
hard
impact.
work they put in and keeping up with some students. There's been several over the years I've kept in touch with, and it's neat to just be a small part of their journey in the beginning as they find something that they're passionate about
Right.
and all the great things they do with it.
Yeah. Were you always into cooking?
No, in fact, when I decided to go to culinary school, my mother's like, "Whose child are you? What are you doing?" She's not a bad cook. She just hated cooking. She's a single mom, 3 kids, so she was like, get everything done quickly. And maybe it was because of that when I kind of, started getting interested in food and I moved out, had my own place, and I was cooking more on my own. I thought, well, this is kind of fun. Maybe I do want to explore this some more. And I was selling health insurance at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Missouri. Horrible job. And just the more I cooked, the more I enjoyed it, and people would make comments with food I'd bring into the office, like, "Oh, you should go to school for this." And the more I thought about it, was like, "Yeah, I should, because I hate selling insurance. I can't wake up 30 years from now and be like, oh my gosh, I'm still doing this." So I sold everything I owned, and my life was in 3 suitcases, and I moved to San Francisco for culinary school.
Wow.
So never planned on it, but it's just been so much more
It's been
of
quite an
a
adventure
better
for
fit.
you too.
Yeah.
You've gotten to travel and
Yeah.
all that, and of
Yeah.
course all
Got
the
to work in
experience
Italy.
here. He's always one of the top programs in the country.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we just finished our national competition last week. Again, second runner-up, would you say? Third place?
Third loser.
Always
yeah.
by some
Second
little
loser.
decimal
Yeah, we
points
seem to
of-
trip over our feet every
Yeah.
year. There was a little bit of a hiccup, but I didn't think we were going to make the top 5 this year, so it was a very pleasant surprise when they called us for third place. Still,
That's cool.
Students get scholarship money,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the goal, is to get them there and get them some money for school.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for taking some
My
time
pleasure.
out and checking out what Maddie's doing. And congratulations on your year. Good,
Thank you.
solid year once again, as usual. How many years have you won states now? In
Well,
a
that's
row?
8 in a row.
8 in a row.
12
But 12
of
out
the
of
last
13.
13.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who was
And-
the school that upset you the one year?
Well, that was the year.
COVID?
No, it was in 2016, actually. One kid cut his finger on the chicken
Oh.
fabrication section. He was gone for like 13 minutes trying to get it to
Oh, no.
bandage up. And
That was Maddie's year.
yeah, we just kind of, it was a comedy of errors that day. So we've been
Well,
we've
things
been good
happen.
ever since.
Yeah, that's cool. Thanks again. And when we come back, Rocky Burgess will be telling us all about the things in Williamston that people want to know about. And they're not always, well, they are always the same things. But we'll talk in depth coming up on the Boone Show on My Pulse Radio. All right, we're back on the Boone Show, My Pulse Radio. Glad you're with us. Thanks again to Maddie Pittman and to Chef Maury for joining us to talk about what Maddie's up to these days, and best of luck to her. We move on now to our featured guest.
He's always so entertaining, not just here in the studio, but elsewhere on social media. Every time you see him, you just never know what the heck Rocky is up to.
Some
You
people
never
like
know.
it, some people don't. Can't please them all.
But yeah, he posts things on social media that if you didn't know him, you would wonder what in
He's a nut.
is going on. Like the Gulf of Williamston.
Yeah.
Now, that
Oh,
you've
my
moved
goodness.
right onto the shores of the Gulf of
So
Williamston.
Wendy and I were fortunate to find a home before it hit the market on the Williamston Reservoir, and Big Creek Reservoir just wasn't quite fitting for such a
No.
glorious
Doesn't
body of
sound-
water.
yeah.
Right.
And about that same time, Donald Trump renamed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And I said, by God, if he can do it, I
The
can
mayor
too.
can, that's
I can
right.
too. So by
Have you gotten any pushback on that?
no, and believe it or not, I actually filed the paperwork with.
No, you didn't.
So
you
I did.
really
I
did.
did a
file it.
proclamation. I do have.
I saw
saw
that
that.
on
And
social
so,
media.
So that proclamation, I printed it off on the town seal, letterhead, signed it, put it in the minutes of our records there at town hall, and I'm hoping that some mayor or council member, 100 years from now, will open it up and look and say, "What in the heck is this guy? Who is this?"
I love it.
So it's been a lot of fun. Most people enjoy my humor. Some don't. That's okay.
I'm sure there's always
you only live
somebody.
once, right?
That's right. You had a good storm report for
Yeah,
the
great.
Gulf of Williamston
Yeah.
last night. The,
Skinny dipping was off.
I
the
didn't
one to
see that.
3 inch caps on the.
Yep, 1 to 3 inch caps on the water.
Oh no!
It was
It's very dangerous.
was rough.
Small craft advisor.
yeah.
Oh no!
Advised all mariners to seek harbor immediately.
So there really is regulations of what kind of boat you can have on there, correct?
Yeah, so the body of water is actually managed by Big Creek Watershed Commission. When you go to vote and you're like, I
Yes.
have no idea who these people are, and some person gets 2 votes and they're on a
Right.
commission managing a body of water. Pretty much anybody can be on the water commission, so they meet once a year and they do their business usually at a local steakhouse, and not a bad place to do business.
That's
is it?
right.
And so they create rules. This year, they amended their rules to allow you to have up to a 10 horsepower motor, gasoline, and you can also have a dock. Now, it must be floating, must be no bigger than 10 by 20, no double deckers. So I'm trying to figure out how I can work that to where I'll have a nice. But there's nobody to enforce the regulations either. DNR, the police, they enforce laws, not regulations.
Right,
So-
but you follow the rules. You may push them, but you follow them
most
for
of
the
the
most
time.
of
Yeah,
the time.
yeah. Much to my neighbor's chagrins.
Yeah. I bet. So are you going to be opening up a beach or anything over there?
Well,
recreation
tiki
area.
bar?
Yeah.
In all seriousness, I did talk with the property owner who owns the dam, and we are entertaining the idea of trying to make the public access to.
There you
Right now you cannot be on that body of water unless you know somebody who gives you permission to come onto their property to launch a
Okay,
kayak or to
okay.
fish or whatnot. So basically, a kayak launch there at the dam would be pretty cool.
How's the fishing in there?
Fishing is fantastic.
Really?
Yeah, very few people fish it. So fishing is outstanding.
All right.
Very
I've
cool.
shared a few pictures on social.
So you can do fishing tours. You can.
Yeah,
That's a
well,
way to
see,
make money. It's,
so I'm
I
kind
mean-
of getting ahead of myself, but I'm thinking I would love a dock. A dock's about $25,000, but I'd really like a small pontoon. And so I've got a buddy of mine. We've got like a 1960 model pontoon that's about 20 foot long, about 8 foot wide. We're fixing the parameters. I can actually tie it up and call it my dock, but yet I can put a 10 horsepower motor on it
Right.
and have the Gulf Patrol. Have
Gulf
it painted up.
Patrol.
Tell me it wouldn't be cool. My neighbors are all freaking out.
I bet they are.
Sherry,
love
it.
Sherry
It's awful.
Cole lives across.
Sherry Cole
the,
does live there. Yeah, she was one of the ones skinny dipping last night. We had to, go,
I saw that she
we
was
had to send the
arguing with
patrol
you
out there to
that
get her
day.
out.
Yeah. That's rough. Make sure David Mead doesn't get a hold of that.
No, and
story.
as
Right.
a matter of fact, my fire chief sent me a picture of the fire truck a while ago, and evidently he's had it. I'm hoping this is not real, but he had it lettered up that says "Protecting the Gulf" on the fire
Yes.
truck across the front windshield.
this is going too far.
I love it. I love it.
Speaking of going too
if
far,
you can't have fun, I mean,
Yeah,
really.
like you said, you only live
it's
once.
been a lot
Just
of
have
fun.
Speaking of going too far, the Gossett Bridge.
Mm.
I see you've opened up the road again.
It is officially back open,
And
pending
I
the next
think-
bridge strike.
That's what I'm saying. You
Yes.
ought to do a fundraiser where everybody picks a date.
I want to
Well,
be
people, I
in.
into
think
a
people are
pool.
already doing that.
Okay.
They're just
whether
doing
it's
it on the
organized
side.
It's
or
going
not.
to happen.
Well, the good news is we used to have strikes. It was probably at least once a month, at least 2 or 3 times a quarter. I mean, it was very frequent.
Right.
And then we put up. The town took over Gossett Drive. That was a state road, and they would not let us put the curtain that you hit before you hit the bridge. You know what I'm talking about? It's
Yeah,
kind of
so,
piece
hey,
of
you're gonna
PVC
hit the
pipe,
bridge
right,
if you hit
like
me.
you do in a parking garage.
Right.
And so we took that road over from DOT, so we could do our own thing. And so we put those in, and that people would hit that before they hit the bridge, and that prevented a strike for almost a year. Literally 2 days before it was going to be a year.
Yeah.
But that was a health emergency. The lady, she bless her heart, she had a seizure or something, and just went through it and got stuck in a moving truck. And the next one, I don't know what this guy was doing, but he was pulling a track hoe, the big excavators, and he hits the curtain, tears it all to pieces, hits the bridge, and he did some massive damage to the bridge. So it was closed for quite a while.
I assume that's an insurance claim.
Yeah, but I've talked with the railroad, and they said they have a hard time actually getting the true cost of the insurance companies haggle with you and say, well, it already had some damage, obviously, with these
Oh,
other
I
strikes.
gotcha.
How can you prove that my client did all the damage? So they completely reworked it this time. U-ties, rails, all that good stuff.
All right.
Holy
We'll
cow.
see what
I wonder
happens.
how much money. You almost want to put a thermometer on the side of it. Like you do a fundraiser when you donate and you got a little thermometer.
Yeah.
So-
And see how much you've put into that bridge at this
Well,
point.
the
Somebody might
railroad
wind
spent-
up doing it on
I know.
purpose. as a
True.
friend
According to
of
the
theirs.
railroad, they spent about $250,000 this last
Wow.
time. So they collect a little bit on the insurance, maybe $5,000 here,
Yeah.
here and there every strike. But for the most part, your moving vans, your rider trucks, and Penske truck stuff, they're like a tin can. They don't do that much damage. Obviously, it's not good to strike the bridge, but
Right.
they just peel them back and you let the air out of the tires and finish ripping it and pull it on out. An excavator, neither one of those
doesn't move very
No,
good.
neither one of those items move. The bridge doesn't move, nor does the excavator. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it kind of stinks because there's apartments right on the other side, so there's usually a lot of people moving,
Yeah.
and then they got to go all the way around.
Yeah.
But
all the
believe it or
way.
not, most of those strikes are not by people moving.
Really?
Really?
They're usually by
I saw a taco truck almost hit it once
Yeah.
back a few years ago.
usually FedEx trucks are pretty notorious for it, and folks who are just have a box truck, working on HVAC or something like that.
Yeah.
Just not paying
Crazy.
Wow, it is crazy. It's Williamston.
attention. It is Williamston,
Entertaining though.
and most folks that hit it are not from Williamston. By the way, we all know better.
Yeah, we know this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They're not driving into stores either. Like
The
that,
Dollar
that
General-
problem's been solved.
or
Right?
Dollar
There hasn't
Tree.
been any more.
No, there
I
hadn't.
think. For a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been. No.
Those folks aren't from Williamston either.
Yeah,
We just seem to attract the less desirables, if you will.
What the heck's going on here? All right, so let's move on to some of the developments, and there's been a lot going on in Williamston, and one that people are starting to get the buzz for is Tractor Supply. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so apparently the Tractor Supplies pulled permits last month, and so the Journal reported on that this week. Obviously, when they begin pulling permits, that becomes public knowledge. So that's one thing we're working on.
Is that in the town? Where are
It's
they
in the
pulling?
town limits, so when you go down 20, headed toward Pelzer, you'll pass the Goodwill.
Yeah.
The very next property on the right will be the Tractor Supply property.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wow. So that's totally in the town of Williamston.
It is. Yep. Yep.
That's nice.
So that'll
A
be.
little competition for Ace Hardware.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I
But
think
here's the
about
thing, and, I've talked with the owners of Ace Hardware too, and they've taken it in good stride. Obviously, they've been around a long, long time here in Williamston, but they also do a really, really good job with customer service, and that's important. That keeps people coming back, and everybody has 2 or 3 items for sale. You just got to be able to sell it better,
Right.
and
Right.
so.
You're right. They do a great job with customer service there. All right. What else you got? What else? What else
Got a
going
lot
on?
of things. If you want to talk about projects, we got tons of homes going up, and I know Holly loves that. Getting all these new fresh students coming in here and no additional money
You're going
to
to run
fund
out
it.
of room for them.
Well, we'll see. So tons of development coming in, and then we've got Matter of fact, we just bid and let our project. I got notification today for the trails expansion. That'll go from Veterans Park, cross over Williams Street, and continue along behind the Brock Lane development. So we're excited about that. That'll add about another half mile. Laser Construction was the winning bidder on it. So I expect that to happen. The ground will start breaking any day now, and hopefully have that done by the fall. So
what
that's
is
another
kind of
project.
the balance that you have as a mayor when you want to attract chain businesses, nationwide businesses like a Tractor Supply or something, and you also want your small businesses, your mom and pops, that there's a lot of them,
Sure.
to be successful? And what's kind of the balance there for the success of the town?
Believe it or not, the mayor's job is not to go out and recruit. That's not what I do at all. On occasion, there will be something the town really wants or desires, like a
Grocery
Don't say it.
store.
Oh, he said it. We made it
said
this
it.
far without saying it.
A bakery was one, an ice
Right.
cream shop was one.
Got the ice
and,
cream shop.
Check
you
on
got
both of
Wicked Licks
those.
coming in, check, and those are doing really, really well.
Yep.
Those are ones that we aggressively went after, business that would meet that need and that demand. But as far as Tractor Supply, that type of stuff, we don't go out and aggressively recruit. What we do is find property owners that already own property in Williamston that are doing nothing with it. And we try to work with that property owner to try to bring their vision to reality. We've got some more development coming pretty soon on a large parcel of land. And
A business?
it is a business, and I'll give you a hint. They hope to make life easier.
Okay.
So we hope to see some movement there.
Yeah.
To make our residents' life easier. Nothing like making life easier, right?
Yeah, it's always
And
good.
so that's exciting.
Yeah.
We just finishing up now, replacing the entire water lines on the Mill Village. So basically from Academy all the way down to the corporate limits of the town, we're replacing every bit of the water lines. That's a massive project that has been about a year and a half of work. So they're finishing up on it, and they hope to make those lines active in the next couple of weeks. And I know that's not really exciting or attractive, but
No, but needs
you
to
know
be
what?
done.
If you're going to continue to have development, you got to
Yeah.
have the infrastructure there to support it. And so we're working behind the scenes on a lot of things like that to be able to make Williamston a better place and make it a desirable place to be.
All right. Well, you just about went down my whole list right there. So let's take a moment and talk to Zach.
He's
Zach
on
is
here.
on the line to talk a little bit of sports. How you doing, Zach?
I'm doing good, man. How are y'all?
Doing well, doing well. What's on your mind?
Well, I want to talk about the box truck stuff. I was listening on the end of that. He was talking about somebody taking out that bridge in Williamston, and we actually have somebody that works for us that transferred up here from Columbia, and from the Columbia store, and he said that we have a driver's meeting every year. This is how we found out about it. And they was telling us, watch out in the big box trucks. We had one that was just about 8 foot tall. Another one that we drive's about 13 feet tall. So a big difference there. And most of your bridges are about, 15, 16 feet tall. You may get some that's 13, 14 feet. Well, he was telling us, he said there was a driver in Columbia that was driving down the road. And it's funny hearing this guy tell this because he said, man, you can see him on the camera. You can see him on the camera, like his reaction, knowing he's fixing to do it. So he goes underneath the bridge, okay, flashing lights everywhere, low bridge, goes underneath the bridge, gets everything fixed. 2 weeks later, he does the same thing, same bridge. So
You see,
he was
Rocky,
history
no
after
matter
that.
what you do.
No.
Again, they're not from Williamston. We just attract them. I don't know why.
Exactly. Yeah. So I had to add in on that. So I had thought about that. But on the sports side of things, a couple of things. Did you happen to see the article that I sent you yesterday? Mr.
Yeah, I actually saw that a couple weeks ago. You're a little late
Okay.
on that, but
All
go
right.
ahead since
Okay.
you got a ring
And-
connection there.
Am I? Is that okay to talk about?
Oh, sure, it's news.
Okay. For anybody that don't know, Coach Tate that said he retired from Wren went to Ashley Ridge down in Charleston. I think it's like the Mox Corner area. Maybe I know it's this side of Charleston, but he has been suspended for the entire 2025 school season next year for recruiting violations. And there is some sort of transfer rule there in high school, but I talked to another source who I know very well, who was a high school football coach at one time that played against us and when I was in school. And he said he saw the text messages where he was texting other players and trying to get them to recruit. I had a buddy of mine that played football when he was here and said he witnessed it firsthand about how he was trying to get a guy to come play and just things like that. And I wasn't sure if you knew that. I wasn't sure if I could share that because of who it involves and what it involves. So that's why I wanted to ask you first.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about it. So, yeah.
It's funny, though. It's funny. It goes on everywhere.
Yeah.
People just haven't been caught yet.
Well, and we just talked about, what was it, a couple of weeks ago? We talked about the new rule about you can go to school wherever you want, basically.
That's right.
Yep,
So
yep,
those things
yep.
won't even be problems anymore, I guess, or they'll
Yeah.
create other problems. But
But it won't hurt him. I mean, I was talking to somebody. Well, Blake Miller's daddy, matter of fact, and he said he's going to be loaded when he gets back because he's just got kids transferring up there. And I mean, and that's fine and good as long as you do it the legal way. Like transfer portal. As far as I know, South Carolina's doing it the right way. In football, you've got Dabo's now opening up to it, and he's using it a little bit different ways. And then you've got Florida State that uses it, but then you've got somebody like Connor Stallions with Ohio State, which I know that was with Michigan, I know it's a little bit different, that got caught cheating.
mm-hmm.
Is everybody doing it? Just hadn't got caught yet. Is everybody tampering? Hadn't got caught yet. So it's really, really, really interesting. Really, really interesting. Makes things really interesting.
yeah, there's a lot you don't know that goes on behind the scenes.
Exactly.
Some people say if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yep. So, Holly, did you see where LSU Clemson is a 7:30 kick?
I did not see
Oh,
that.
there you go, Holly. That
It
fits
is
right into your
it's a
schedule.
7:30 kick.
I
Chris
assumed
Fowler,
it was
Curve
gonna be.
Street's going to be on the call, so looks like it's going to be game day game.
That's
Okay.
pretty much their
Yeah.
biggest game of the year, right
Yep.
out the
Yeah.
gate.
Yeah,
Yep.
and we do that. Traditionally we have some big game
Yeah,
when
like
we play
Georgia, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of this schedule, Zach?
I was telling. I was telling.
I think it looks
guys
easy.
I was telling the guys at work when I sat and watched. Of course, Holly was there, but when I sat and watched in the living room, Tiffany was already in bed, girls were already in bed, and watched the Louisville Clemson game last year.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea what I was watching because you get blew out by Georgia, you blow out Appalachia State. You think everything's back because Appalachia State's no pushover. They're not. And then you go on the road and win a couple, and then Louisville comes into town, and it's just, what am I watching? And that right there told me, well, they blow out NC State. That told me that anybody can be beaten on any given Saturday. South Carolina coming into Clemson winning last year.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have never saw that coming, especially what was on the line. Clemson's possible automatically in the playoff with
Right.
that win.
Mm-hmm.
It's just anybody, no matter what conference, anybody can be beaten on any given Saturday. We got one guy out there that's got Clemson ranked number 1 in the preseason. Haven't even played a snap yet, and Clemson is number 1 in the preseason.
Well, somebody's got to
Carolina's-
be.
South Carolina's 11th. Now, that don't mean that's what they're going to be, but, you've got other radio hosts saying, well, Clemson and Penn State's going to be my 2 national championship picks. They're bringing everybody back. Man, we haven't played one game yet. We have not played one game yet. LSU could come into Clemson and blow Clemson out by 30. Clemson could do the same thing, and I hope they do. But that's why, like Dabo Swinney says, that's why you play the game. I listen to his press conference every Tuesday when he has it, and he has respect for all of his opponents, no matter who they are. You can't overlook this. A couple of turnovers can turn the game around.
Yep.
What was it, last year, Charleston Southern, or the year before, I think it was, they took the lead on Clemson. And, it was like in the second or third quarter. and Clemson finally settled down and started playing football. But turnovers can really, really make a difference in a game. That's what happened with Louisville, where they couldn't tackle. And I knew then the defensive coordinator was going to be gone after watching that game.
Yeah. Well,
And then before I get off here, just a couple things. Raw comes to Greenville on Monday.
yep.
So Carson is ecstatic
Excited.
about that. When they announced Jay Uso was going to be there in a match,
Oh,
I didn't
boy.
think she's going to get herself because she's able to watch.
Are
about
you
an
going to be
hour of it with me.
yeeting the whole time?
Well, yes. Her Jay Uso sunglasses just come in.
Oh,
so I
good,
got
good.
those, and so she said, "Daddy, he's going to have the championship when we're there." I said, "I know, baby, I know, but bless her heart, when she finds out it's all put on, bless her heart." I mean, I did not send y'all the video. I'm gonna have to send it.
You mean
She
it's
was in
not
here
real,
watching-
Zach?
No, Holly, it's not real. But she was in here watching the pay-per-view with me on Saturday, and it was over by 10:30, so I let her stay up and watch it. And when Randy Orton got beat, Tiffany comes from the bedroom. She is crying hysterically because he got beat. And I just said, "Oh man, wait till she finds out that it's all just part of the show," you know. So just seeing her emotions and seeing her excitement is just makes it that much more excited for me.
Yeah.
That's
So-
awesome.
Yeah, it's
You
always
know,
good
and
to see
then-
your kids smile.
And then did you see? I don't know if you saw this, and then I'll get off here. But I don't know if you saw, if you're watching it, you know, like you used to or whatever. But there was a fan that threw a empty beer bottle at John Cena.
Yeah,
on
I saw
SmackDown.
that.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, now I
Jeez.
thought at first it was part of the show because of the way he picked it up, because, you know, that's how they got Santino Marella out of the crowd. That's how he become a thing. They got him out of the crowd. He was sitting front row. No, on Twitter, if you watch, they escort that gentleman out of there. And I'm just saying to everybody out there, if you go to a wrestling event, don't be that dumb. Don't be that idiot. These guys are doing this for your entertainment, to entertain you, entertain us. It's a part of the show. It's a show, you know. And I mean, there's just some idiots out there
Yeah, absolutely.
that do that kind of thing. And I mean, they escorted him out, and they're talking about they could ban him for life from, and they should, because now when you go to the live events, I don't know how long it's been since you've been to one, but you get a bottled drink, they take the tops off for you.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
people throw them.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if that's every event, but I know it's wrestling. That's about the only thing I see there.
Yeah.
But other than that, you know, there's really not a whole lot going on. Just a countdown, I guess, to football.
There you go.
That's right.
All right, man. Well, next week when you come on, give us a full report of what happens on Monday.
You got that right. You know I will.
All right, man.
Hey.
Yeah.
One word. Yeet.
Yeet.
See y'all.
Yeah. All right. Bye-bye.
What's wrong with him?
Yeet. All right, back to Rocky Burgess, ladies and gentlemen. We still have a bunch on the list. First off, there is a festival at the park this weekend, Pig in the Park.
There is.
And Brad was going to join us, got wrapped up at work, he said.
Yeah.
So
No problem. I can fill in for Brad.
I'm sure because you're all over Pig in the Park.
I
Is
am.
your son
Actually-
cooking this year?
No, he's actually working it as part.
Okay.
He's a mason as well.
Didn't he do that one year, though? Didn't he cook some?
He helped me cook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This year I'm on my own. I'm actually a contestant this year.
Oh, good.
I bowed out for about the last 5 years
Uh-huh.
after coming in pretty much dead last. It's all about the presentation. I did not realize that. I had to Google it, and I just put chopped pork, pulled pork on the plate, and you don't do that. You got to get the money muscle out, and I'm sure the chef Maury can tell you more about it than I can.
All right. So
But I'm learning.
So you're competing this year.
I am competing this year.
Okay.
About how many do you have competing this year?
We have 20 teams this
What's
year,
up?
and
What's the
this
name
year,
of your team?
Rocky's All Sauced Up Barbecue.
I always like the names of these.
I do
places.
too,
They're
that's why I asked.
hilarious.
Yeah. So this year will be a little bit different. In years past, you would get a wristband, and for $15, you get to sample all the different barbecues and a drink. This year, we're not doing wristbands. So this year, you'll get 10 tickets. So each sample will be a ticket. You got 20 teams. Nobody's going to eat 20 2-ounce samples. That would be 40 ounces of barbecue. Like you'd be
I don't
sick.
know.
That is a lot.
We usually get some for our kids.
And so we
sometimes,
kind of
our school kids.
we've watched for a couple of years, you'd have somebody go out and buy a wristband and then have their family sitting over here at the picnic, and they go
And they
over and
share
just,
it.
They go over and just load them
Yeah.
up. So that's one way of preventing that, and just making sure everybody's honest. And if you want additional tickets, it's $2 a ticket, and that also comes with so $15. You get 10 tickets. That's 10 samples. And then you get a Taster's Choice ticket that you can drop in whoever you think has the best, and also a drink. Can't beat it, $15.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
a lot of
similar
fun.
to what they did at the chili cook-off.
Yep.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yep.
Great idea.
Although I will tell you, a few years ago, we had a couple of really big guys in the class. They had a competition to see who could collect the most cups, and it was up near 30.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It was like the final score was like 30 to 27 or something, and then they had meat sweats. The
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
I was fixing to say.
But,
People don't realize that meat sweats is a real
it
thing.
hits you after you've had a
Yeah.
whole bunch.
So, what time, Rocky, do you plan on starting the shindig?
So I'll start
cooking.
cooking on Friday night,
Okay.
Friday evening around. I'll start prepping 6 to 10.
Now, do you spend the night out there
Oh
too?
yeah, oh yeah.
Okay,
You
so
got
you'll
to babysit the meat, and according to the rules, you got to be there the whole time.
So you'll start going out there around 5 or 6,
Yep.
and then you'll stay all night until the next day. And the judging is at what time? You need to have your meat ready at what time?
I think it's 11. No,
Okay.
turn-in's at 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Okay.
So you turn it in, and then they announce winners usually around noonish.
Okay.
the tasting starts at 11, right? For
Yes,
everybody that
that's
shows
correct.
up.
You
Okay.
get your tickets and you start tasting.
So
at
do you
11.
have official judges or?
No, they're official SCBA judges.
Oh, so this
South
is
Carolina
an
Barbecue
official
Association. It is. Each year it's always official.
Very cool.
So it's a lot. Folks come from around, particularly those who are members of the SCBA, because they got point standings and stuff
Yep.
like that. So
Yep.
pretty neat.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Looking
it is pretty
forward to
cool. What else is going on? What is going on Friday night? I know they say the festival's Friday and Saturday. Now, obviously, everybody's starting their cooking, but
Yeah.
what else is going on?
So Friday night you'll have vendors set up that actually just sell barbecue. So you can come get you a barbecue plate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know all that's going on. I think they may have kids rides. I'm not sure if they
got any music or anything?
But I do think they have live music on
Yeah.
Friday night. Matter of fact, I'm certain of it. So
Okay.
Okay.
come out and see us on Friday night and meet the cooks and maybe stand over their shoulder and watch how they're trimming their meats and get some pointers and tips out of it.
Maybe you won't be last.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it just smells great out there.
Oh yeah, you
Oh, my
can't beat the
gosh.
smell.
And then Saturday, 10 o'clock. So we'll be out there for Friday and Saturday with the Platypulse and playing some music and being a part. I'm sure I'll be getting at least 10 tickets.
Yeah, we're always
Yeah.
excited. You guys, when you guys show up, provide a little music to help break up the monotony of trimming your meat.
That's
Yep.
right. That's
Yep.
right.
Got to break up that monotony of trimming your
Absolutely.
meat. All right. We've got more things on the list to talk about. The park upgrades, of course, the playground has been a huge hit.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of people that have been hitting up the playground. And the Spring Water Festival, big pickleball tournament going on there.
Oh, my goodness.
Which
There
I
was-
stood around and watched that
you?
for a little bit. There was some good players there.
Yeah, so this year, Spring Water Festival is in April.
Yeah.
Which I'll take the April showers over the
Absolutely.
110-degree
Yes.
weather all day long.
Absolutely.
So a lot of good activities. It wasn't quite as intense as I thought it would be,
No,
but
that might have
we
been the
also
threat
had
of the weather.
you had the weather and you also had the fair in town.
That's
Those
correct.
two were the
Yeah.
fair's obviously a big draw too. So
But yeah, it was nice out there when the rain got out of the way, and that was a nice festival. But Pig in the Park is always good. I'm glad to see you're up to 20. That's definitely a bigger number than it's been the last couple of years.
yeah, last year I think it was 13 teams.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
wow.
sounds right. I was
So,
thinking 12. Yeah. So yeah, more barbecue makes for a better day.
That's right.
And it's fun hanging around, and all that starts Friday. You can dip in there, get a plate of barbecue, and enjoy some music, and then on Saturday 10 to 2:30 is when they announce the awards. Do you have the carved trophies?
They're not going to make it this year.
Ah.
The wood carvers, they had several things. I think it was an event they had that conflicted with the schedule this year.
Okay.
You know, they do competitions with wood carving as well.
Yeah, 'cause-
And I'm kind of jealous because I really, really want one of those trophies.
yeah, they're really cool.
I might would even do a better job at trimming my meat just to get a nicer trophy.
Yeah.
It's a monotonous job, but you got to get all that fat off and make it just perfect.
Just perfect.
It's got to be perfect.
Got to be perfect. All right, we talked about the trails. When are the roads going to get paved?
Which roads you talking about?
Route 20.
Route
well,
20.
now they
it will
did
be
some
sometime.
patching, right?
They're
they
patching
did
it up,
patching.
yeah.
So the process is, and people don't really understand, you have 3 classifications of roads in Williamston. You have a state road, you got county roads, and you got city roads. SC20 is a state road, and the process is they come through typically in the off season because you can't put hot asphalt down to resurface the road until the temperature reaches a certain level. So what they do is they come in and they cut a area that's kind of sunk in and divoted, and then they do what they call full depth patching.
Right.
And then that sits for a while. It's allowed to settle, so you may have a couple months of that. And then when the contractor, the next step is to actually do resurfacing. So a lot of people think, well, they just came in and made a mess out of the road and left.
Yeah,
No, they
that's
didn't.
all they're gonna do?
That's not all they're doing.
So that's just the
Hang
beginning.
in there.
That's right.
That's just
That's
the
the
process. And I
beginning.
don't care if it's a city road, county road, or state road. Same process. So
And you would think, I know they try not to do it in the winter time because of it getting cold. But
was
then,
that thunder?
is it? I don't know what that is.
Okay. I was worried about the Gulf. We may have to send out
Oh,
another
the
advisory.
yeah, I know. You might have to rush out of here.
Anyhow.
But we're done in 10 minutes, so hopefully not. Hopefully you can stay for the rest of the show. Save the Gulf. Later.
Oh my goodness.
Where was I? Oh, yeah. So they don't do a whole lot of paving in the winter time, but you would think the spring with all the rain is not a good time to do it either.
It does make it terribly difficult. You got to work in between those rain showers.
That's right.
So-
All right. Let's see. I saw a good stat
Yep.
that crime is going down in Williamston.
Crime is going down. However, traffic incidents are going up.
Yes, because you have more people.
Yep. You got
More
more
cars.
people. The last count on SC20 was 13,000 a day. That's a lot of cars
Wow.
going through.
And I've been seeing some of the little, what are the things that you drive over?
Like the little counter things.
yeah,
yeah.
they've been all over the place.
Yep. So
Yeah.
here's one thing we did.
Counters.
So we've got 2 traffic speed trailers that help us determine where the problems are. Does 2 things. That trailer gives us real data that we can pull to tell how many cars went through there, what their average speed was. So we're able to deploy those trailers. Number one, it gets people's attention. So if you're exceeding the speed limit, you start getting those flashing blue lights and red lights, and you never know if there's going to be an officer sitting just on the other side going, "You idiot! You just went through. You no doubt you knew you were speeding. Don't give me the I wasn't paying attention." So that's been extremely helpful. When we deploy those and we start getting complaints of certain areas, we'll deploy certain areas where speed's a problem. We'll deploy that speed trailer over there, get some real-time data. What time is that happening? Sometime that's dismissal down Belton Highway at the Career Center or
Oh,
Palmetto
yeah.
High School.
Yep,
Some of y'all's youngins treat our highways like they're a racetrack.
for
And,
sure.
so that generally will happen, and that parent will generally get a phone call. The school will get a phone call from that officer, and hopefully they don't write them a ticket. Some of them probably need a ticket, but we try not to. That's not our objective.
And with the violent and property crime, I think they said it's down, what I was reading, 18%, which is
Oh, wow.
not a small number.
No.
What do you attribute that to?
Are people just being more careful with their property and that they're securing things a little bit more?
Maybe. A lot of our problems that we had was people leaving stuff unsecured.
Yeah.
Particularly leaving car doors unlocked. That was a frequent thing 2 years ago where it seemed like every morning we'd get up and have a subdivision that had been hit. You know, people just go through and unlock a door and
Yep.
find stuff in the glove box. And, so
So there's
educate
an
the public.
I was just
Yep.
going to say there's an
Educating the
education
public's helpful.
component.
All right, well, hopefully that trend continues.
Absolutely.
Tell us about what's going on with the Burgess Family Foundation.
All right. So
Which
we
is
did.
so cool.
You were here
Yeah,
last
it's a lot
time.
of
You're
fun.
just starting it up, so
Yep.
it's been a few months.
So I'm trying to think of what all we've done since then. We've done lots of money has went out to the community.
You
The
had a
latest
golf.
thing,
You had a golf.
yeah, we had a golf tournament.
tournament.
We were able to help the Masonic Lodge with some repairs at the lodge itself. We were able to fund several kids' Christmas this past year. Throughout from Cheddar all the way back to basically all the Anderson School District 1 area. We were able to fund quite a few children with their Christmas. Recently, we had an oyster roast and was able to contribute those funds to the Williamston Community Outreach. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that. That's over where the town bought used to be the salvage yard there on 20
Yeah.
near Burger King. The
Yeah.
town bought that.
Okay,
and
yeah,
there's
yeah,
a big warehouse building back in behind there. And we were approached by a group that were interested in basically getting cleaning supplies, just general household items, not food, but household items that you would need. And they are stocking that stuff there, and once a month on Saturday, they have a community giveaway where they put a bag together with, it usually has about $400 or $500 worth of, could be, paper towels, toilet paper, all types of things like that. So
I didn't even
we were
know
able
that
to-
was back there.
Yeah, and they're usually a huge group of people that come in and are able to collect. They don't go through and verify your income or anything like that. It's just on the
You
honor
need it, you
system. If you
come.
need it, you come. They're glad to help you out. So those folks are doing a phenomenal job, and so we were able to contribute some funds to them. They buy transfer truck loads of materials that may be overstocked or something like that, and so they're able to give those away to the community. So that was the latest thing we did. At Pig in the Park, we'll actually be having a raffle table there. The foundation will actually be doing the raffle. We've got a lot of good items that Ryobi or TTI has graciously donated. We've got I think that we're going to have from Howling Dog Forge a custom-made knife that'll be raffled off. So
That's nice.
y'all come see my daughter-in-law. She's our executive director. She'll be there at the tent.
All right, that's good. Is there a website or something that people can go to?
We do not have a website yet. We're strictly word of mouth. We're growing. We just started, John. Give me a little
Well,
break.
it's been
And
several
you're on
months, I think.
social media.
I don't-
Definitely
Yep,
have
we're
a
definitely on
Facebook page.
social media and
Yeah.
Instagram and all that good
Yeah.
stuff.
All right.
My daughter-in-law, she does a great job of keeping the public informed of what we're doing. And
Okay. Tell her if she needs any help from us.
fantastic.
We'll send out a mascot and
We'd
some
love to.
music and
Yep.
That'd be awesome.
advertise a little bit. We should have her on the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a way better public speaker than I am. She's actually her degrees in broadcasting.
She
Oh, yeah?
does have a great
from the College of
personality.
Charleston.
That's good. That's good. All right. And one last thing. We talked about Pig in the Park. That's this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But it's becoming more and more famous every year. The 4th of July celebration
Listen.
in Williamston.
It is
And what is planned
fantastic.
for this year?
So we've just put out a video teaser. We have, and forgive me, I don't remember names. I'm not good at the names. But we've got a Nashville artist that will be performing. Obviously, the fireworks.
Everybody's been
What's the
talking about
guy's
them.
name from last year that was so phenomenal from The Voice? He'll be back as a. He'll be the what do you call it, the lead-in to the main
Okay.
act.
Okay.
So we're looking forward to that. We've got the golf cart parade for the 4th of July. We've got Bobbers on Big Creek by Envision Williamston. That's always a pretty cool thing. Have you guys seen that?
I haven't seen it in person.
You basically
no.
take bobbers and
Right.
they put their number on it and they pay a ticket and you win. We got big flat screen TVs and all kind of cool
Nice.
stuff. So that's a lot of fun to make use of the creek running through through Mineral Spring Park. So lots of good stuff going on that day. We'll have food trucks there. Fire department will have a car show there in the old Ace Hardware parking lot. So
And it's June 28th,
June the 28th. Yeah, it'll be the
Okay.
weekend before 4th of July.
which is great because I think
On
I'm taking
Saturday.
off for the
Y'all have to come
4th
see
of
that.
July.
I may even get you backstage. We got
Oh.
some
Wow.
VIP. We'll have a VIP tent and for several of our sponsors, and we've got
Well,
an after party show.
cool.
Very
So
cool.
a lot of fun. Meet the artist.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Very
That
cool.
does sound great. I have to try to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Holly doesn't do anything unless it's a VIP pass.
Well, Holly is a
So-
VIP. Everywhere she goes, she's a VIP. And she's like me. I won't go to a concert unless I'm sitting in the. I don't like people. I do like people. I just don't like being around people.
Here's the mayor, the sound we're going to
I
pull
don't
from
like
this show. Mayor Rocky Burgess. I don't like people.
I don't like people. I like my personal space. How about
Yes.
that?
I hear you.
Yeah.
I'm
And
the same.
I don't like to be crowded in an
Yeah,
area.
yeah.
I think that comes from being a law enforcement back in the day. So.
Maybe. All right. So guess what part of the show we're at now? We're at the recommendations part.
My
and
favorite
Rocky always
part.
has some good ones.
Yes.
Oh my!
Recommendations for entertainment, whether it's something that you're watching, a movie that you saw, something you're binging, something you're reading, anything that is entertainment wise, and then food, which I know you always have some good ones there. So, what entertainment wise, what are you doing now?
I don't get a chance to do much
I knew
entertainment.
you were gonna say
However, my daughter-in-law actually brought me a bourbon, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's something about 12 Horsemen or something like that.
Holly would definitely know that.
Um, um,
Holly?
12
12 horsemen?
Anyhow,
Anyway.
so it's by the guys that were in the Army after September 11th. They were sent into Afghanistan, and those guys went through and basically just did a phenomenal job of
Is it
eradicating the area.
horse
Horse soldier, that's it. Horse soldier. So the
Oh,
movie,
that's expensive.
it's very expensive. Yeah, it was
Oh,
very
no,
good.
no, that's not my, I can't, no. Woo.
So she had been out for a couple of days because my grandson had been sick, and I was kind of stressing out at the office. And my son works for me as well, and he evidently the feedback got back to her that I was being stressed out because I'm doing everybody's job while they're out. And so she brings me that bottle of bourbon and a sweet little letter and says, "Look, this is for when you're stressed out." So anyhow, she told me the story, and she said, "You need to go see the movie. It's called 12." You have to Google it,
gonna
but
look that
anyhow,
up, too.
it's something about 12 Horsemen, I think, is the name of it. But it's a really really good movie. So I watched that this weekend, in all the downtime that I have.
Yeah.
12 strong.
12 strong. That's
There you
it.
go.
That's
Yeah, I
it.
think
But they
I've
went
heard
on
of that. I
horseback
haven't
all
seen it.
around Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And basically called in airstrikes on the Taliban locations, and went through some pretty hairy situations there. But anyhow, they developed their own bourbon.
Wow. Expensive one at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. By the way, something about Maddie that you don't know is she would be good friends with both of you because she likes bourbon.
This
she's
Maddie?
Maddie, the chef that
The
was
chef
on
Maddie?
earlier, the former student who is definitely old enough now.
Yes.
And she likes cigars.
Oh, really?
So yeah,
That's phenomenal.
so it's
So everything in moderation. You don't drink
That's
bourbon.
right.
You kind of just sip. You just enjoy.
yeah.
It helps me kind of take the stress off
Yeah.
of life and just relax for a little bit. It's important to take a little time for yourself.
It
in
is.
moderation, of course.
You need to
Absolutely.
do that. Gotta, like they say, the margins of your life.
That's right.
That's right.
Gotta have those margins. Okay, so food.
Holly may need your Googling skills again.
Okay, I'm ready.
So I was at Springwater Festival
Mm-hmm.
last weekend, and my daughter got this amazing. It's like a Middle Eastern candy bar. It's got chocolate, and obviously it's got chocolate. It's a candy bar, but inside of it, it has like a pistachio something or other. That was absolutely phenomenal. Now it was about $15 for this little.
Is that the
chocolate bar.
Dubai chocolate
That's
they're
exactly
talking
what
about?
it is.
Yeah.
Dubai chocolate. See, you're
Yeah.
great with Google.
Yeah.
Man,
Dubai chocolate is amazing. If you get the chance,
Well,
you
because
should really
my
get
kid is all about it too.
some. Okay.
really?
Okay.
I never even
Yes.
heard of it.
I
Yeah,
had never
and
heard
it's
of it either.
expensive.
It's very expensive.
Yeah, it's like $20 for a.
And they had it
A
at
small
Springwater
bar.
Fest.
Yeah, it is. Obviously, somebody had during the craft section is where it was at, and it's the taste, it's the texture, it's got it going on.
You can actually order it from Amazon.
Really.
I think it's 20.
And it's pistachios
20
in there?
It does. It's a
My wife
pistachio
would
cream.
love that.
It's amazing.
It's a. Did it look like this, Rocky, with the yellow label?
No.
Okay,
This
because
was-
there's other ones.
this was homemade.
Oh, this was homemade.
Oh, but
okay.
it's just Dubai chocolate is the kind of chocolate, not a necessary
No,
brand.
it's milk chocolate. You can do it milk
Right.
chocolate or
Okay.
dark chocolate, but the actual recipe is called a Dubai
Okay,
chocolate.
gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha. All right, well that's good. Usually we get restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
Now we got a nice new snack to try.
We'll have to try that.
Yeah, we will. You can buy.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
bring it in.
I can't do that
It's
on
expensive.
my
It's
salary.
expensive. We'll have to try it.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, well, we've reached that time. Thank you, Rocky Burgess, for
my
coming
pleasure.
in.
Thank y'all
As
for having
usual,
me.
we'll see you out there this weekend. Best
Sounds
of
good.
luck. We will try your barbecue.
Please
And,
do. Taster's Choice. Make sure you drop that ticket right there. That might be the only opportunity I have to win.
Do you?
Those judges, I'm convinced they don't know what they're doing.
I know that one year your son was pretty upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, presentation
He
is
is-
everything.
He's very competitive, as
He's
are
extremely
you.
competitive.
But yeah, I remember that because we were like almost right next to you guys that year, and
Yeah.
man, he was upset.
And
at
I'm
the
cheating
judges.
this year. I'm bringing
But-
the RecTech BFG. So I just basically plug my probes in, set the temperature, get on the Wi-Fi, watch it from my phone, and sleep.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, he's always big on the technology.
Yep, you got to have the technology.
But
Just
yeah,
waking up every 30 minutes and stoking a fire and closing the damper and opening the damper, that's for the birds.
Hey,
That's for
and-
the young bucks.
And you can sleep in the Cybertruck.
Absolutely. That's the plan. Really.
That's right.
Not kidding. That's the plan.
well, that's nice. You can look right out at
Yeah.
the stars and all that. What would before we go? What would you characterize your barbecue as tasting like? I mean, is it a vinegar type of thing? Is it a mustardy thing?
I
Is it a-
I prefer the vinegar taste.
Yeah.
That's my preference. But whenever I turn into the judges, you use a little bit of sweet, a little bit of heat. That's it. They don't want vinegar. They don't want mustard. They don't want just something a little bit,
creativity, just
little bit of
something.
sweet, a little bit of heat. You don't want to overpower the meat.
Do
I'm
you-
talking like I've actually won something here. According to Google.
So do you make your own barbecue sauce?
I do.
So is that
Oh, cool.
required?
No, you do not have
Okay.
to sauce it at all.
Oh, okay. So is there a different category for sauced or not
No,
sauced?
no.
Oh, it's all the same.
It's all the same.
But he's definitely sauced.
But some of the rules are like you can't put garnishments in there or anything like that.
Right.
Just the meat is the only thing allowed to
Just
go
the
in
meat.
there. Yep.
All right. Well, we look forward to it again. That's this
Yes.
weekend in Mineral Spring Park.
Please take a
The
picture
pig
of what
in the
you turn
park.
in
I
so we
will.
can look at it.
I will.
Yeah. And I will
Post that
definitely
thing.
be there.
It'll
to
be
taste
well
it.
trimmed meat. I guarantee it.
It's good. It's good. It's good stuff.
Very cool.
All right. Thanks for joining us, and thanks to Maddie and Chef Marie at the top of the show. Thanks, Holly. We got one show left
One for this
for the school year
the school
next
year,
week.
Yep.
Mary Bortz from BHP High School
Love Mary.
will be here to try to take the title of most entertaining principal.
She usually is.
She goes, of course, Lanford didn't even show up. Roach he was pretty entertaining.
He is. He is.
And of course, Whitfield.
Is entertaining as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. So we'll see what happens. That's next week
That's
on
right.
the Boone Show. Don't forget the podcast comes out as well. If you miss any part, you can always get the podcast wherever you get your podcast. Everybody have a great night.